going on, everybody? How you guys doing today? I hope you are all doing well. My name is Barba223, and if you know me, welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be doing a class tier list for the Waking Flame patch. So I know before we get started, I just want to say, number one, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And number two, more importantly, I just want you guys to understand that I know this patch is heavily based on a meta that is the same for every class. So everyone's using the same thing. So it is very hard to decipher in this exact instance what class is better than the other. I mean, there are some obvious ones, but it often gets jumbled because, well, everyone's using the same exact sets right now. So I just want that to be out there. This is my own interpretation. Don't get mad. I mean, if you want to call me an idiot in the comments, feel free, dude. I don't care. I mean, I'm always down to argue, so let's do it. But this is just based on my personal experience. So please, please don't attack me and threaten to come kill me, alright? I promise this is just my personal opinion, and I'm always up to hear another opinion, okay? So anyways, without further ado, let's just get into it. So what I'm going to do here is just randomly pick ones from the bottom and drag them into somewhere and explain why I think what I think, okay? So let's just get right into it. So first, we'll do Magplar. I think Magplar is an A. I think this one's obvious. In my opinion, Magplar is insanely good right now for a few reasons. Number one, cleansing is very, very important. Being able to cleanse snares, being able to cleanse dots, being able to cleanse procs is very, very, very important in this update, and especially because their extended ritual cleanses 5 negative effects, and it gives a heal, and it buffs your own healing. So it's an extremely, extremely powerful heal and cleanse. So for that skill alone, you're very good. Number two is it is much easier to scale spell damage in this update because medium armor now gives spell damage. And why is that important for Magplar? Well, the main reason is because they get minor sorcery. So getting minor sorcery is going to pump your spell damage up just even more than that. So I think that is very, very good. And also, they're also updating every set to scale to magic and stam, so they are opened up to an abundance of different skills. Something like Dagons, something like you can use mechanical acuity on a Magplar. There's a bunch of different options you can use that proc off of direct damage. Scathing Mage even procs off of that. So there's a lot of sources to get higher spell damage. You could even use Deadly now on a Magplar. And on top of this, Magplar has insanely good healing power. So they can tank out damage, cleanse damage, sit in the rune, get a crazy dot healing, and then just pressure you with jabs while puncturing sweep for the magic version. But very good. And to top it all off, they have a really good finisher, maybe the best finisher in the entire game. The scaling on it is extremely strong. It's ranged and it's very good. It's that simple. They're a really good class. Also, on top of that, if you run Vampirism with this and use Mistform, you're going to be very, very hard to kill. And use Undeath as the passive for Stage 3, you're going to be a very, very tough class to beat. So I just want that to be known. I think Magplar is extremely good right now. Maybe even put him S tier if you want to, but that's just my opinion. So, next, we're going to do... What do you want to do next? So what we're going to do next is Magic Warden. So Magic Warden right now for me, I used to think Magic Warden was an A. Now I kind of think it's a B. Why do I think this? Well, I don't know. Their burst is a little bit weird to line up. Don't get me wrong, Deep Fissure is a great skill and it hits very hard, but I'm kind of in a place with Magden where I don't know what to run. In the new update, I guess you could run Dagons, very similar to Templar in terms of what sets, considering that the bulk of their damage is AoE. But it's a little bit weird because you do frost damage sometimes, you do magic damage sometimes, so it's not really one damage type, so it's a bit tough to really gauge. One thing I will say is you could definitely run Hrothgar's Chill and destroy people with the Ice Staff. Very, very good. But the reason I don't want to run that is because it's getting nerfed by literally half, so that's not good. And you could also run Dark Conversions if you want to. I don't really encourage that. I will say I don't encourage you guys to run that because it's a bit corny in my opinion, but to each their own. But Magden is a little bit weird on the damage side for me right now. Northern Storm is great. It scales well with Balorg. The class scales well with Pariah or Tanky set, Danger Trickery even. So it is a solid set for that. But in my opinion, it's always going to be B or higher. And the main reason for this is because simply they have so much utility. So even if they can't do anything right now in terms of the damage side, even though they can, I'm just saying, I feel like there's other things that are better in burst. They have insanely good team utility, whether it's giving buffs to your teammates, giving off heals to your teammates, giving them major protection literally from your own damage ultimate. So Magden supplies a lot of utility regardless if it's on offense or defense. So that's really, really nice. The one thing that they lack is a good CC. Although Arctic Wind is solid, it's not a good CC because you can't really say, boom, I want to stun you like Fossilize can, or even um, the Gap Closer for Magplar. So it's a bit weird. But they get a lot of passive damage, they get a lot of movement speed, they get a lot of damage mitigation. So it's a very good class for that reason. And if you want me to be honest, they have the best buffs in my opinion. They get access to every buff essentially in the game. Major Mending, Major Protection, Minor Berserk, almost Major Berserk with their passives. So it's very good. Very well rounded. It's never going to be bad on a Magden. It's just that simple. It's a good class. So yeah, we'll move on. So next we are going to do, we will get into, you know what, let's do a different class that we haven't done yet. So let's do MagDK. So I put MagDK at C. Now why do I put MagDK at C? Well, as someone that was a MagicDK main for literally years, I feel like the class has had a big drop off. Why do I think this? Well, number one, there's about 12 different bugs with MagicDK right now. The fossilized bug where you can't do it to people. Leap barely ever works in places like IC, sometimes BGs. How annoying is that? Next, they are a little bit weird on the sustain side. They are getting buffed this patch, so don't get me wrong. I know I don't want you guys to say you don't know what you're talking about, but they could easily move up to a B next patch because they are getting a buff with combustion, and charged is getting a buff. So charged and combustion are going to go together very, very well to help their magic sustain a ton. But at the same time, it really sucks to have to rely on charged as your trait because we want sharp and we want Nirnhone. So it sucks, but at the same time, it's not bad. You're still going to do a lot of damage and you're going to have better sustain. On top of that, they're changing Flame Lash to do an instant heal rather than a dot heal. So I think that is also a good change. It's going to help your burst healing more. It's going to be able to proc more often, I believe. So that is very nice as well. And another change is Cauterize and Flames of Oblivion. So Flames of Oblivion will now shoot 3 fireballs instead of 2, which is going to also extremely buff your damage. So very, very good. MagDK is getting a buff, so it's hard to tell exactly where they'll be later. But right now, they're C in my opinion. I think they're also very slow unless you have Race Against Time. They have a very good burst heal, but it's tough. They do provide a lot of team buffs, just like Magden. Whether it's you can give weapon damage to your entire squad, which is really good. You can give obviously spell damage as well. You can give the nice ignite synergy, which is also very nice. So if your teammate's running a harmony build, you can definitely do that with Talons, which is very, very good. You can do the same thing on Magplar when you use Nova. So nice synergies there. But overall, I don't know, when I verse a MagDK, I don't have too much of an issue. They either don't kill me and I just leave because I can't kill them, or I kill them because they run out of resources. So they are getting a buff next patch, so you can't really be too mad about it. It is a good change. Considering that everything's going to scale with everything now, so you can run hybrid builds. So I think DK is a class that's really going to flourish for this reason. So yeah, that was pretty much really all I had to say about MagDK. So I guess we can move on to the next one. So for the next one, I think what we're going to do here is finally a stamina class. So we're going to go with Stam Sorc. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. If you play a Stam Sorc, you're going to say, yeah, blah, 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 Stam Sorc's not an S. Everyone just complains. No, Stam Sorc's an S tier class. There's no doubt about it. Don't tell me differently, because it is. The reason I say this is, number one, I think they have the best burst combo in the entire game. Let's be honest here. With the amount of procs that's in the game, you use Crystal Weapon, you get Dawnbreaker ready, you get every proc in the freaking game ready, Frenzy Momentum, Ashen Grip, Hrothgar's Chill. Whatever you want to use, there's so many options to just destroy people. So for that reason, I do think Stamswork is an S. And why else are they an S? Well, number one, they have essentially unlimited stamina sustain. They can just turn magic into stam with no issue, which is crazy. And then on top of that, if you run a crit build, you're going to have insane healing over time, because you're going to have crit surge popping off like crazy. And then on top of that, you also have the best movement in the game. You have crazy movement speed with literally just your armor buff. You can use evasion on top of that, and then you can also use streak, which is the best. I think not only is it a good CC, but it also makes you get away from any situation. So you may say Stamswork doesn't have any mitigation, they take a lot of damage. Sure. All that's fine and good. But at the end of the day, if a Stamswork wants to get out of a fight and not die, they're gonna do that. All they have to do is streak away and heal. It's that simple. So I don't know why people complain when people that play Stamswork say they're not even good. Yeah, they are. Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, but they're really, really stupid. So that's really all I have to say about it. If you have a build where you can literally one-shot people, I don't want to hear it. So that's how I feel about Stamswork. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, you run dual wield, spin to win. You can run whatever you freaking want, and they're going to be good. You can even run a bow build with Crystal Weapon. So that is my personal opinion on the subject. I don't know how you guys feel as well, but that's how I'm feeling. So Stamswork, in my opinion, is an S tier for sure. Very good class, I think. So yeah, guess we'll move on. So next, we'll do another Stam class. So let's go with Stamina Necro. So Stam Necro here is one of these, alright? I am going to put in S because I do think Stam Necro is just one of those classes where they're unkillable. So they're just annoying to verse. Like, nobody wants to verse a Stam Necro. There's people complain that they're pay to win. I don't think they're pay to win, but I do think they're pay to be annoying. They really can't kill them. They have so much healing. They have so many buffs. They're also one of the only stamina classes that have a cleanse, which is insanely good. And it's a cleanse that doesn't cost anything. I mean, it costs health, but that's nothing. And on top of that, they have crazy bursts with their blast bones. They also get minor or major defile on their enemies at all time, which is crazy, crazy good. So that alone right there makes them at least B or A. And then on S tier is their crazy survivability. So this is a class where you can pretty much run whatever you want and be pretty successful. And it's one of the classes where I say if you're a beginner in ESO, if you want to get better, like run Stam Necro because you're going to be good. They have access to pretty much every buff. They have a free pretty much like a Vigor. So they have Vigor and then they have Mortal Coil, which gives them Stam recovery and a crazy strong heal. So like there's really no downside to this. And then on top of that, they have Blast Bones to hit like a truck. So like, they have everything they need to be a successful class. And really, if you're 1v1ing a Stamcrow, like, it's going to be tough to win. It's really that simple. You're not going to kill them. They're going to eventually burst you. So I typically, when I fight a Stamcrow 1v1, I kind of just don't go near them. What's the point? Unless I know they're not good, there's no point of like really engaging with that type of player. So for that reason, I put them in the S tier. They can also use Spin to Win with their Colossus for major vulnerability. That is very, very powerful too. Putting major vulnerability on enemies makes them be a lot squishier, so you can use that. You can use Dawnbreaker as well, and they also have Goliath Clown form. And you could use the Bash Crow. Bash Crow is going to be really powerful next next update with the new sets coming out. So yeah, Stam Necro has all the opportunity to be super duper toxic. So yeah, that is how I feel about Stamcrow. So I guess let's move on to the next one. So next, what are we going to be putting up there next? So you know what? We're going to go with Stamina Templar. So how do I feel about Stam Templar? Well, personally, I think Stamina Templar is better than what it was last patch. Now, why do I feel this way? Well, mechanical acuity, number one. I think mechanical acuity has made Stam Templar very, very good. But the reason, I don't know, I have them at B because really they only have one move. They have jabs, and jabs are great. Jabs are really good, but it's also their only utility to really kill people. I know they have backlash or whatever it's called, power of the light, which is nice. It's good. It got buffed and it's a lot better this update. But I don't know. I've been playing Stam Templar more than anything else lately, and I really do enjoy it. The cleanse is also very, very nice. They have repentance, which is a good sustain tool. And they do have a lot of bursts with jabs and mechanical acuity, but the reason I had them at A before the video, and then once I did the video, once I was like starting this, I was like, you know what, they got to go B because mechanical acuity is getting a nerf. Um, I don't know why they nerfed it. In my opinion, that was a silly nerf. It wasn't really overperforming. I didn't think it was that bad. It's a good set, but it's nothing like Dark Convergence or Rothgar. So I didn't see a reason for them to really nerf it, but that's my opinion. You could run Dagons, you could run Deadly. Deadly also is getting nerfed, so that doesn't help anything either. But it's a very good class, I think, and it's always a class. It's fun for me. Like it's a fun class. I never really like played Stamplar and was not having a good time with it. Lately, I just really been enjoying it, and I'm not really a stamina guy. I'm more of a Magic player myself, so to be able to enjoy Stamplar in this update has made me happy. I think Stamplar is the class for me personally, the only class that I build totally into damage, and that's because there's a lot of healing. There's a lot of you can have a cleanse as well, so it really does work out in your favor, being able to heal and cleanse. So I think Stamplar is like a B, teetering on an A. It's like a B plus, A minus type of thing. Because I really like Stamplar myself, and when you got mechanical acuity going, you got deadly going, you do hit really hard, and power the light if it crits. So Stamplar is really, really solid. I don't know how you guys feel in the comments, but I think when I run into a Stamplar, though, I typically just don't let them hit me. I just move around. If you can't aim with biting jabs, you're not going to kill anyone, so it is a tougher class to aim. So that's how I feel about them. But don't get me wrong, I think they could easily be in, like, right here, like in between, you know, like maybe even like right here. So that's how I feel. We'll move on. So I guess let's do a new class that we haven't touched yet. So let's do Nightblade. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do Magic Nightblade. Now, I don't really want to put them at a D because, like, there are instances where I think Magic Nightblade is extremely good. So, like, I am going to put him at C. Now, you got to understand, I'm looking at this from the perspective of someone that isn't a bomber. So, if you're not a bomber, let's say you're a normal Nightblade that goes stealth and plays, or you're a no stealth Nightblade. Now, if you're a no stealth Nightblade, you're going to be about here, in my opinion. C minus, C, whatever. Because they are very tanky, but they're very single target based, so it is tough to nuke people. Really, 1vxing is tough, I'd say, on a no stealth mag blade because like you got to absorb a lot of damage, but they do have decent movement with shade and stuff. But if you're a bomber, bang, it's that simple. If you're a bomber, you're going S. But I don't like bombers, so I'm not going to acknowledge you. Sorry, guys, but that's stupid. I'd rather you be a ganker is one thing, a bomber is another. Like, get out of my face. You're going to bomb me with Dark Convergence or whatever, or Mechanical Acuity. Just get out of my face, please. Okay? So, anyways, I think Nightblades, like normal mag blades, are like a C, C, regular, C minus, whatever. The main reason is because they like, I don't know, they're weird for me. They're a bit slower. They don't really, I don't know, they're not really performing that well in my opinion. Now sometimes they are very good. And I've seen builds that are super tanky and can take you 1v1, they're going to take you. It's that simple. So depends how you feel about it. But bombers probably A or S, and then normal mag blades, that's what I'll call you guys. Normal mag blades are like, somewhere in here. I don't want to put them in D because I don't think they suck. I don't think they're terrible. So that's how I feel about mag blade. Let me know how you feel. So yeah. Next, I guess we will get into. Let's do Stamina. Stam Warden. So we'll do Stamina Warden. Now, I know I'm going to get hate for this because there's going to be people that are like, Stam Warden has to be S tier. Now, it could easily be S tier. Again, a lot of these classes are in between. to A and A plus, S minus, as some would say. It's totally up to you. The reason, again, is Stam Warden is very similar to Magic Warden in the fact that they are very good for utility. One of the only Stam classes that can really heal your allies because, along with Stam Templar, don't get me wrong, but they have Leeching Vines and stuff, so that is very good. They also hit hard, obviously. They get a lot of base damage from their Animal Companion passives. They have Dawnbreaker, of course. Subterranean Assault is a great skill. Now, the one thing about Subterranean Assault is that it doesn't apply a breach, so that is the one thing that kind of sucks. No breach means a lot less damage compared to the magic version, but it also hits twice, so it's very good. I think it's easier to hit people with Subterranean than Deep Fissure because typically you're a melee build with the Warden, so you don't have to worry about aiming it. You're kind of just in their face and it hits them. But Stam Warden again is super tanky, and the one thing I wanted to mention about the Warden class is they can literally just negate projectiles completely. They can just say, projectiles, get out of my face, like, you're not going to hit me. It's really that simple. Projectiles, don't hit them because they have crystallized slab, or the other morph is, what is the other morph? Shimmering Shield. So they also have crazy ultimate regen with Shimmering Shield. They can get their ultimate. Dude, I've, not even going to lie, I've got my ultimate sometimes in like 20 seconds. Like, I'll get Northern Storm, I'll pop a Shimmering Shield, and my ult just goes crazy. And if you run that with another ultimate regen set, you're set. But anyways, yeah, Stamden's very well rounded. They have Arctic Wind as a burst heal, so you can use Rally and Arctic Wind, and you're getting insane healing because most classes don't have a burst heal as a stamina class. So what they're going to do is run Rally as their thing and use Vigor as their other heal. But Stam Warden, on the other hand, can use Arctic Wind because it scales on max health. And then they could use Rally and Vigor and Leeching Vines, and they have insanely good healing. So that is very good. But it is a great class, well-rounded. You can't go wrong with a Stamina Warden. Again, I tell you, if anyone is going to be a beginner, I'm going to tell them to run a Stam Necro or a Stam Warden because they're just easier to play. They're easy to play. That is the one thing that's very good about them. They're super easy to play as. I haven't really been using Stam Warden lately. I just don't like it. It feels like easy mode. Again, like as I'm saying, they could easily be S, but they have access to so many buffs. They have a lot of damage. They're very tanky. They're just well-rounded. And if you run around in a group of like Stamdens, like you're not gonna win. So that's how I feel. But let me know how you guys feel too. Again, I just want to make sure you guys understand they could easily be S, but I'm putting them A just because I haven't really been having issues with them personally. So again, this is all my personal preference. So don't beat me up. Now, next. This one is going to be very controversial. It's going to be Magic Necro. So Magcro, and depends what instance you're talking about them. So what instance do we want to talk about them in? Well, if we're going to go Harmony, they're S tier. Now the reason Harmony is S tier is because, well, there's a set out called Dark Convergence. As you guys know, if you pop your Boneyard and you get Dark Convergence to proc, you're probably not going to survive. So you simply just pop your Graveyard, you Dark Convergence procs that get pulled in, you drop your Colossus, you drop whatever AoE you have, and they're probably not going to survive. So if you're talking Harmony, this class is 100% S tier. It's one of the best in the entire game. So I'm sure most of you understand that. It's very tanky. They have access to buffs. They have access to a cleanse. They have access to major protection at all times, which is the same thing as Stam Necro. You literally just use your Guardian and you have so much protection. And you get really good passives. You get max health. You get recovery from your Guardian. You get extra dot damage. You get reduced dot damage, which is another reason why both of these classes are crazy tanky. They pretty much negate DKs because dot damage is what they do. So just understand that the Magic Necro is very good right now because of that set. Now, if you want to talk about Magic Necro in a sense that isn't Harmony, which would be stupid of you not to do right now because Harmony's so good, I'd go A, because not only they may not use Harmony, but if you don't use Harmony, you're still a really good class. You have Blast Bones that hit really hard. You have Colossus to new groups. You can use Meteor, Dawnbreaker, whatever you want. They have a lot of range utility as well. They can use Skeletal Arcanist for penetration. So, they're a very good class regardless. So if you don't want to use Magro as a Harmony build, which would be silly of you, you could use it as a very good utility class. Guardian heals your teammates. Mortal Coil, whatever morph you want to use. Braided Tether, it doesn't matter, they're the same thing. They're going to be very good for you. So don't get me wrong, this is a very good class. It's just a CC wise, they don't have a great CC, but they do have the totem that's going to automatically fear people with no choice, so that's very good. It cuts off doorways well, and it's very good in a group. So again, these are group utility classes. Stamcrow, group class. Magcrow, group class. Magplar, group class. Stamden, very good in a group. Magicka Warden, very good in a group. And Magic DK, very good in a group. So you got to understand these classes that I'm talking about that are well-rounded, they're going to be extremely, extremely successful in a group setting, okay? Just want that to be known. So don't sleep on Magcrow because obviously it's so good. So let's move on. I'm sorry I'm taking forever. I don't want to keep you too long, but let's just keep it going. So next we're going to do Stam DK. I'm going to put them in the A tier. Why am I doing that? Because they're freaking good, man. Stam DK is so fun to play, and they're getting a buff next patch, so they're going to be nasty. They're going to be nasty. Why are they going to be nasty? Because Cauterize is going to be able to crit now. Well, it already can crit, but Cauterize is going to grant brutality. No, not brutality. Savagery, I'm sorry. Savagery is the stamina version of critical chance. So you're going to get critical chance on Cauterize more, which is really, really powerful. On top of that, you're going to be able to use Molten Whip. So you're going to get not really a stamina version of Whip, but you're going to get a whip that can scale off stamina. So it's going to cost magic, but it's going to scale off your stamina abilities. So you can use Venomous, Noxious, Flames of Oblivion into a Molten Whip, and it's going to hit like a freaking truck. It's going to be such a good class. They're going to be supported by Hybrid a lot. You could use Igneous Weapons for that to get your magic and stamina damage. So you're going to have a lot of Hybrid chance here, and Whip is going to be pretty sweet. They're getting a lot of help. Another thing I wanted to mention before I move on, Magic DK next update is going to get a lot of help from Ash Cloud. So Ash Cloud, instead of it being super expensive, is going to cost magic per second, which is very good. But anyways, Stam DK is a real good class. They have access to a Breach. They have access to probably the strongest dot in the game with Claw. They have access to one of the best ultimates in the game with Take Flight. Hits like a truck. They have access to pretty much a lot of major buffs. They have access to major mending at all times. So if you pop a Igneous Shield and then you just use your Vigor into a Rally or whatever you want to use, a Cauterize, you're going to be good. So it's really nice as well. Another good thing about Stam DK, they have a lot of sustain with their ultimates, so when you use an ult, you get resources back, much like Magic DK, so that's very good as well. And on top of that, it's another one of those stamina classes that can do a lot of off healing. So as you can see, those classes are probably the better ones, right? Being able to help your group is very important. So Cauterize is going to heal your team. You don't have to use Cauterize, I keep mentioning it, but because Flames of Oblivion is going to be better now, it's getting a buff, it's going to hit 3 people instead of 2, so that's really nice. But really, guys, Stam DK is good, and it's getting even better with this next update. So don't sleep on it, it's a good one. Most of you know already, so I don't have to really mention too much, but it has all the tools it needs to be very good. So if you're using Deadly, Deadly's a good one to use on there because why not? You buff your Claw and your Noxious Breath, and maybe, I don't know if it buffs Flames of Oblivion, maybe, but I'm not sure. But yeah, Stam DK is solid, and it's going to be even better. Maybe it'll be S next tier. Some people think Stam DK is S, some people think Stam DK is C. So I put it in A. Again, it's one of those controversial classes, much like Magic Necro. So yeah, I think it's A. That's just my opinion. Just don't beat me up over it. I'm sorry. So next we're going to do Stamblade. I'm going to do Stamblade at S tier. It's simple. They hit so hard. They are so good. Going invisible is so freaking annoying right now. They are just so good. But damage so high and all the sets that they can use at this current moment, Stamblade is very powerful. It's also really annoying to verse 1v1 or really in any setting. There's nothing worse than 1v1ing somebody and then a Stamblade comes up out of nowhere and just destroys you in one hit, right? Like, who wants to deal with that? They have a lot of movement. They have a lot of damage. They have a lot of burst. They use their incap. They use their spectral bow, and they're going to destroy you, right? It's that simple. They hit hard. They're very good. They are a great class. I mean, why wouldn't you want to use a Stam? No one who doesn't want to run around in stealth and destroy people, right? So don't get me wrong. I think this one has a very high skill gap. So you need to definitely put time in and practice this class if you want to be better than other people, because they are squishy, but they have a lot of movement, they have their shade, they can roll dodge, they're just all over the place, right? So they're essentially, in my opinion, the complete opposite of Stam Necro, because Stam Necro is the tanky dude that's going to take them hits, they're not going to die. And then you got Stam Nightblade. They're going to be the opposite. They may get killed if they get stunned, but they are going to destroy you if they can find the window to do so. So I think Stam Nightblade is extremely good. A lot of people utilize mechanical acuity, so I'm wondering how that's going to be next update. They may obviously change this. I don't know what people are going to run exactly, but we'll see what happens. I think a lot of classes are going to be nerfed because of the Dark Convergence changes and the Hrothgar's Chill changes. So we are going to see a lot of new things that happen. But luckily, I don't use that on any of my builds, so I'm not really in danger. But yeah. So lastly, Mag Sorc. So what are we going to do here? Well, I'm going to put Mag Sorc in A. I think Mag Sorc was S last patch. I don't really feel that way anymore. I don't know. Mag Sorc is really good. Don't get me wrong. Again, they have essentially the same chance that Stam Sorc does to have high resources. You can change stamina into magic, but don't get me wrong. I think that is a bit more dangerous than the Stam Sorc class because you need stamina. So trading stamina for magic can be dangerous at times for roll dodging and breaking out. But Mag Sorc has something that no one else has, which is a very, very powerful damage shield. So they can stack their damage shield with the light armor damage shield, and they're pretty golden. You don't really need that many resistances, considering that you have about 15k health worth of shields, so that's really good. On top of that, they have an extremely good burst combo with Endless Fury that literally kills people for you, which is really annoying. It steals kills like crazy. That's why if you play BGs, you'll see Mag Sorcs are typically the highest kills because they have Endless Fury. They also have Crystal Frags, which obviously hits like a truck. They have Daedric Curse, which is really nice. Storm Atronach, really nice. Meteor, really good. And they have a lot of utility. They can also off-heal their team with Atronach, or not Atronach, I'm sorry, Twilight. So Twilight's a good healing skill because they do have a burst heal. It is a really good class. It's that simple. They hit hard. They have Streak. So as you guys know, like I said with Stam Sorc, Streak is going to get them out of most sticky situations. So if you're playing a stamina class, it's really freaking annoying to verse because they're going to poke you from a distance, and as soon as you get near them, they're running away, right? So I mean, that's how I feel about it. It's really frustrating to verse. It hits hard, and really you have to just hope that they don't line up their burst. You have to really kite them. So yeah, that's how I feel about Mag Sorc right now. I mean, you can run whatever you want on Mag Sorc. It's really the only class in the game where you can just stack max magic and really use that to do your everything. So that's really cool. You use shields and max magic, and you can just use all your health as shields. So it's a really cool class. It's a class I've never really been a fan of. It's been OP since the dawn of time. Literally, since mankind has begun, Mag Sorc has been good. There's never been a patch, in my opinion, where it's bad. Overall, guys, here's the thing about ESO right now. I think class balancing isn't that bad, right? I don't think class balance is too bad. I think the sets are what makes class balancing trash, right? So Dark Convergence right now, Hrothgar's Chill, all these new DLC sets, right? The issue is that all these sets make the class's skill gap gone, right? So the balancing I don't think is terrible. Like I've been playing Stam Templar, and I haven't had much of an issue with all these classes. There's a counter, but the thing about it is when these classes that are already insanely good use these broken sets like Dark Convergence, people can't really compete, right? So I don't think it's the class balancing that's essentially the issue. I think they've been addressing that. I think it's the issue of the sets that are ruining the balance, okay? I know it's a hard concept to explain, so I apologize if it makes no sense, but I think the sets and DLC is what the problem is rather than the class balance itself. And on top of that, as we know, guys, PvP is in a weird spot. I don't know how you guys feel. I just feel like it's weird. But yeah, I just wanted to go over my personal tier list for Waking Flame, and as always, there's always things you can change. Like this could be changed, right? This could be changed. This could be changed. Like it's totally up to you guys. So as always, this could be changed. Like it's really up. This could even be S. Like it's so many things you could change. So don't get too angry about it. You know, I think again it all comes down to personal preference. I respect all your opinions. I hope you respect mine. And I just want you to know that I'm definitely not right. Again, it's all personal preference. So I hope you guys have a good one. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Let me know if you're looking forward to New World. And as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and have a good one, guys. I'll see you.